My name is Yoshikage Kira. I'm 33 years old. My house is in the northeast section of Morio, where all the villas are, and I'm not married. I work as an employee for the Kameyu department stores, and I get home every day by 8 p.m. at the latest. I don't smoke, but I occasionally drink. I'm in bed by 11 p.m. and make sure I get 8 hours of sleep, no matter what. After having a warm glass of milk and doing about 20 minutes of stretches before going to bed, I usually have no problem sleeping until morning. Just like a baby, I wake up without any fatigue or stress in the morning. I was told there were no issues at my last checkup, and I'm trying to explain that I'm a person who wishes to live a very quiet life. I take care not to trouble myself with any enemies, like winning and losing. That would cause me to lose sleep at night. That is how I deal with society, and I know that is what brings me happiness. Although, if I were to fight, I wouldn't lose to anyone. Hey, what is up, everyone? It is me, the rabid Shiba Inu, the meme muncher, the cartoony sheep in the night, painted sandwich. Today is going to be a good day. Welcome on in, everybody. Sorry it's taken so long to make another video. Had work and bills, and you guys know the struggle of today. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about JOJO. Not JOJO Siwa, but the better JOJO. The best JOJO, depending on which part you watch. You guys know that JOJO. Spoiler warning for everybody who has not seen all parts of JOJO or who has only read the comics. This video is going to contain spoilers because me and my significant other absolutely binge watched the hell out of this series. So quick disclaimer for today's episode. It's going to run a little bit different from what I've normally been doing. Speed paint is absolutely going to be in the background. However, this episode is going to be more in-depth, like an analysis of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, rather than just, a speed paint and me talking mainly more about my opinion. Even though this episode is more opinionated, that's what we're leaning towards today. Is a little bit more of an analysis on what I thought of the show. So yeah, enjoy my speed paint and enjoy my in-depth thumbing through the series. Yeah. Also, I hope you guys don't mind if the audio sounds a bit disjointed at times. I am trying to take breaks in between each take so that way I can breathe and actually put some emotion into what I'm doing because I'm partially using a script, okay? So yeah, just bear with me on this one, and I hope to get a mic soon. Using my phone kind of sucks. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is like an action horror comedy that was originally a comic series made by Hiriko Araki. Please let me know if I mispronounced his name. At the time of this script, it's got 9 parts and has been being written by since 1987. It consists of, like I said beforehand, action, horror, and impossibly buff men fighting eldritch horrors coming for humanity's cheeks because power! Eventually JoJo got adapted into an anime, which we will be talking about in this episode, and that is when American audiences, thank you Mel, brought their attention to the series. So let's go on ahead and take a deep dive into part 1, Phantom Blood, which I'm going to talk about a little bit at length here. So technically, Phantom Blood has 2 or 3 animated adaptations. It has the original JoJo Bizarre Adventures movie, and then it also has the OVA, I believe. I haven't delved too deep into either of these types of media, but I do know that Phantom Blood was made into a movie, and then there's an OVA version of JoJo, Phantom Blood. To be honest, from the little snippet that I have seen of the Phantom Blood movie, which is also lost, it has this like really dark and gritty style that was more in tune with Araki's original art style. And from the GIFs and stuff that I have seen of it, I actually kind of like it. It, like I said, it delves more into the original style of JoJo and leans into the story a bit better. I'm not sure if it was received so well in Japan, which I think that is what was wrong with the movie originally, is that it just wasn't received very well over there, which is why they just, they canned it. Also, along with that, I think the movie also got canned because of like a controversy. From what I understand, Dio was like reading the Quran in it, and I think that's also kind of what got it canned as well. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but both the OVA and the original movie have just like this cool style that I just really love. When we go into the to the main series' actual art style, though, it has got this wonderful, beautiful, just colorful fight scenes and everything, and it's glorious. I loved Phantom Blood. Not only is it not only does it have like one of the most iconic memes of the series, like literally 20 minutes into it, but it was awesome. I know that a lot of people say you can skip over Phantom Blood, but I feel like personally I would not have understood a single thing in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures if I actually didn't watch Phantom Blood. But that's just me, I mean, I wouldn't have understood why Joseph Joestar still had Hammond in part 3 if I did not watch that. I mean, it's the yellow mustard power force of breathing. I was totally not going to understand what that was if I didn't see it. So, speaking of the first two parts of JoJo, when it comes down to Hammond, part 2 is one of my favorite, mainly because, well... So, along with, those beautiful, buff, wonderful eldritch horrors of Pillar Men, this part also introduced Jonathan Joestar. And between parts 2 and 3, I love Jonathan so freaking much. Oh man, mainly because of just how like unique and freaking awesome he is. He is absolutely just awesome in these parts. Since I've started watching the series, I have caught myself saying oh no and oh my god and holy shit at some things. So I was hoping that was not going to become a stim, but unfortunately it became a stim, just like my Shiba honk. Part 2 is just jam-packed with endless action, and I loved it. All of the Joestar gotcha moments where Jonathan just automatically knew what the other person was going to say, and the fact that the Pillar Men were just almost unbeatable was just awesome. I mean, every 5 minutes it was throwing something at you, and the fact that you could just not defeat everybody, and the fact that Cars was like basically unbeatable unless they threw him out into space was just great. I love that. I love when villains don't have a very easy to find weakness, and I think that is what kind of made part 2 pretty special to me. I think that out of all the parts though, part 3, Stardust Crusaders, is my absolute favorite season, because not only does it contain my favorite Joestar, my favorite stand, and my favorite side character, it was just a wild ride. It was amazing. I feel like part 3 was the most well executed part of, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and you can disagree with me if you want to, but I'm not going to change my opinion on that. So where to start with part 3 is that not only is it just this wild roller coaster of just insanity, it introduced the stands, which from what I understand, is going to be throughout the entire rest of the series. I don't know. I have actually not watched, what's it called? I haven't watched Jolene's part, and I have not seen, what's it called? JOJO part. Is it part 8? Oh my gosh, I have everything in Japanese. Why? Steel Ball Run. There we go. Steel Ball Run. I haven't seen anything up to, I have not seen Stone Ocean, nor have I seen Steel Ball Run. In fact, I don't think that Steel Ball Run has even been animated yet. So I have not seen up to that part. Anyways, so it introduced the stands, and from the get-go, stakes are already high. Like, we walk into part 3, and Jotaro is, like, already on it. Like, Jotaro is already behind bars. He's just not having it. And we find out that he has this thing called a stand, and then all of a sudden, his mom's life's in danger, everything's hanging in the balance, and they need to go through a 50-day journey to basically go save his mom from a bunch of Dio brain bug controlled stand users and emotional damage. That is essentially part 3. I feel like it's the most heart-wrenching part out of the entire series, mainly because, spoiler alert again, Avidol dies twice. Alright, they kill off Iggy, and he literally was introduced right in the middle of the season. And then Kakyoin. Our precious Kakyoin. I mean, bruh. Not Kakyoin. But at least they all went out in an honorable way. But my gods, part 3 was absolutely gut-wrenching at points. And then that ending. Finding out that Star Platinum and the world were the same, like basically had the same type of stand, was... I got goosebumps when Jotaro started moving while time was cut. Oh my gosh, that was great. Death aside, though, one thing I wanted to mention about part 3 is just how jacked everybody is in this style. I mean, can we go ahead and like take a moment to like just appreciate how buff all these men are? I mean, Joseph is basically like, I think he's supposed to be in his 70s. Jotaro is supposed to be 17. Polnareff, Avidol, and oh my gosh, everyone just looks like they popped out of the gym. Speaking of taking a moment to give some appreciation, I'm also going to take this part of the video to go on ahead and give some much needed love and attention to the best Stardust Crusader. So without further ado, let's give some love to Polnareff. So why is Polnareff the best to me? Well, that's my opinion and nobody else's, but Polnareff is just the best. Sorry guys. He is one of my newest infatuations. So yeah, you guys get to deal with Jotaro, Polnareff, and Star Platinum. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that in the future. So let's go on ahead and go into part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. Before you guys come at me with pitchforks and axes and, you know, burn me at the stake, please just note that this is entirely my opinion, and you can have your own opinion if you absolutely want to. Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, is my least favorite of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series. But please put your pitchforks down. It actually doesn't mean that I don't like it. I found part 4 actually rather enjoyable, but just hear me out for a moment. While it's not my favorite season, it was a breath of fresh air, and I feel like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures actually did need part 4 to be the way that it was, mainly because, well, it just kind of needed it. It was basically like a breath of fresh air for the series. I love Josuke, and I do love the others that are in the series, and in fact, you know, I absolutely love Killer Queen. It's one of my favorite stands in the entire series. The murder mystery arc was something new, and honestly, I was on the edge of my seat throughout most of, you know, the season, you know, with Kira. You know, dude, this dude was a menace, and he means it. And I genuinely thought that we were going to lose Rohan, and I really didn't want to lose him, even though he was a jerk. But no, through the power of time manipulation, we didn't really lose everyone at all. I think that my biggest problem with the season, and that's the thing, is that I am also a looks person when it comes down to animation. I feel like, and this is just me, I feel like it was so different and a little bit throughout the season. The pacing was a little bit weird for me, and I started losing my attention. And the art direction was pretty strange. Although it was pretty unique. The yellow sky and everything had a reason to be there, and I didn't know that it had a reason to be there. So that kind of threw me off a little bit when I was watching part 4. It doesn't mean that part 4 is bad, it's just not my favorite. And I feel like, you know, you're gonna have that with any series. And to be honest, the series kind of did need part 4. So I mean, like, it was pretty cool. I honestly sometimes find myself saying to my partner, I am Yoshikage Kira, and we both start laughing. So I mean, hey, it's not my favorite, but it's pretty awesome, honestly. I also want to, like, nudge in a little bit and say I absolutely love how the stands are all named after bands and singers in this one. I think that is just, like, freaking awesome. So let's move on to part 5, Golden Wind. So when I originally wrote this script, I was actually almost done with part 5, and I planned on getting this video out before I watched the ending of part 5. However, because I ran out of time, I didn't get to finish the video, which is also why I rewrote the script now. So we're going to completely go off script, and well, we're going to talk about part 5. Part 5 was intense. I also want to clarify before I get into part 5 that I have some speech issues and I may actually butcher some of the names in it. So just bear with me. I'm going to try to pronounce them out as much as possible and do the best I can, so that way I don't sound disrespectful to anybody, you know, in the series. So let's start off with part 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind. So right off of the bat, we're introduced to our next Joestar in the line, Giorno. And something that I immediately love with this season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is that we're not dealing with a must kill off Joestar bloodline kind of villain. We're actually dealing with the son of must kill Joestar bloodline. And oh my gods, is this man nothing like his father. The apple did far fall from the tree. The apple did not give Giorno anything that his father has. Actually, I was so pleased with Giorno's the way that Giorno was written in this season, and I was absolutely so happy to see that we didn't get the I must avenge my father kind of villain in this series. Giorno has so much more honor than what his father could ever hope to achieve, and this man literally becomes a gangster in this season of JoJo. This kid at the age of 15 is just better than him. So let's go on ahead and put it out there. Spoiler alert. I spent 15 minutes crying when Leon died, and then when I found out that Bucciarati was literally a walking JoJo zombie, my eyes became a waterfall. And let me just tell you, this is just Oh my god, this season was terrible. Not terrible, but like it was terrible in like the way that will pull at your freaking heartstrings, bro. Oh man. Well, to at least make things a little bit positive, at least Polnareff is back. Except he's a turtle now. But hey, you know? I don't know what they were I didn't know what they were gonna do with the arrow in the last few episodes. But no, we found out. Yeah. So last few episodes that I was supposed to watch when I was originally writing this script, I wrote in there, please don't kill anyone else off. What did they do? It's JoJo. They did whatever the heck they wanted to do with everyone. But no, it was awesome to see Giorno pick up the arrow and basically just devastate everything. Get wrecked, Diavolo. So yeah, I have seen up to part 5 of JoJo. I've only seen up to Golden Wind. The unfortunateness is that Stone Ocean is mainly only on Netflix, and I currently do not have the funds to pay for a Netflix subscription just to see Stone Ocean, so I will probably just peek at some like YouTube videos, or we'll have to, on next paycheck, like cave in and see, but I that's all I've seen, so yeah. If anybody has like any recommendations for like Stone Ocean, and where I can find it without having to like pay this terrible company because they bought the exclusive rights to freaking JoJo Park. Anyways, so JoJo is a great series, and I could delve deeper into each season, but this is an opinionated speed paint and not a full-blown retelling of the entire series. I love the fact that JoJo as a series changes over time, and it keeps its shine as it changes. Like, I know the art style changes like throughout the entire series, for better or for worse, but I do like it. The fight scenes just become so colorful and just so vibrant whenever, big fights happen. One of my favorite scenes, basically all the intros, where they show off the stands is one of my favorite parts, where the colors get so beautiful. And then the torture dance scene in Golden Wind, where they're just absolutely frying the hell out of this dude's eye. Oh my god, I love the art style. No matter which season, they just do such a beautiful job on it. Something I did notice though throughout the like all seasons of JoJo, I noticed that through maybe up to part 3, everybody was so extremely buff, but over the time that the series goes, they actually get less and less and less buff and more feminine. And I feel like that was actually a really good choice to like tone it down a bit. I know a lot of people will make the argument that, you know, the art style went downhill, but I just don't really agree with that. You know, I feel like with everybody being so big all the time, it kind of leaves less room for creativity when it comes down to the character design overall. I mean, you can absolutely disagree with me on that. Feel free to, but I feel like the style was going in the right direction with, toning it down just a bit, because I mean, it's impossible to be that big. And let's be for real here, I actually kind of really like the toned down versions of the Joestars. Although I really do miss Polnareff's big chest. I think that one of the better parts of JoJo is going to also be the stands. Speaking of like getting rid of things, Hammond was really only a thing up until like, Joseph, unless it comes back. Let me know if it comes back. But like, yeah, no. I feel like the stands are some of the best written things that are in JoJo's. While I did love when Hammond was in there, because I was like, oh my gosh, like magical, mystical breathing powers. But honestly, the stands are freaking awesome. Throughout part 3, most of them are based off of tarot cards, and my little self loves tarot cards. So I'm like, dude, awesome. And then after, part 3, they started naming them after bands, and all these designs for these freaking stands are just insane. They're like Pokemon that have taken steroids, but have also gained the mystical powers of eldritch horror, and it's freaking awesome. Okay, these stands are just out of this world, and now that they essentially came from some, like, I don't know, virus arrow thingy, I think it's even better because awesome. Just awesome. I swear to the gods, I'm like a freaking sheep in wonder. I mean, you've got stands that can literally, like, make things elastic. You've got stands that can predict the future. You've got manga stands. You've got stands that can freaking control time, which, from what I understand, all the major stands in the series that pose like the biggest threat, except for Star Platinum, all have something to do with time. Like, the world was able to stop time, and I believe that Killer Queen was able to I think it was to send time backwards. No, I'm sorry. Killer Queen was the one that was able to restore time to a specific time, specific date or something. I think it was like you could redo the previous day. I forget exactly what Killer Queen could do. And then you had Diavolos, which could frickin' literally reverse time, which is absolutely insane to me. Or skip time. It is so awesome. All these stands are just like frickin' awesome. So while watching the series with my significant other, I kept hearing like this thing that they would say, and it was called Iraqi forgot, and it would catch me so off guard because, like, honestly, to boil it down, I would kind of forget too. So I guess Iraqi forgets when they're writing stuff, like, for instance, like where they would like set a rule in place, mainly during like Stardust Crusaders, and then they would immediately go up against that rule. I didn't notice it, and then they would say Iraqi forgot, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Iraqi forgot. I think it was during the boat scene that they mainly did this with, in part 3, where I think they were fighting the stand that was absolutely bonkers. They went underwater, and they essentially said they couldn't communicate with each other, and then Polnareff was talking underwater. So I think that was one of the first times that my significant other told me Iraqi forgot. So yeah, honestly, I kind of feel that because, like, I would kind of forget too. Oh man, poor Iraqi. Sorry, dude. So, to be honest, that's basically JoJo. I know I'm leaving out a lot, but like I said, it is a opinionated speed paint and not really a masterful retelling of the entire series. I could probably do a retelling of the series, but it'd probably be like over an hour long, and I don't have the editing time for that. So I am going to go on ahead and tell you guys about the speed paint in the background. Honestly, I didn't really have any direct plans for this episode originally, and I had no idea what I was going to draw or say for this episode. Even when I did the original script for this video, it was really not, it wasn't the best thing ever, and I didn't really know exactly how to say or do, and I basically was trying to go and talk like people that I've seen that do this kind of thing. So I kind of just went with the flow for the episode until I couldn't really decide, what I wanted to draw. And it came down to me drawing either Jotaro or Polnareff. So I just drew both. I was like, you know what? I'm doing this basically now in my free time for a living, and it's my channel, and I don't care what anybody else says. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to draw them both. So I'm actually pretty honestly happy with how both turned out, actually. Since Jotaro is such more dark and serious, and Star Platinum is literally the best thing since sliced bread, I went all ham with it, in the way that I could. I wanted to draw, like, one of the memes originally, but then I was like, no, I really honestly don't want to, like, overdo the meme thing, so I whipped up something, like, really nice today. I feel really good about, Jotaro's, piece. I almost forgot to put the cheek marks on him, and on Star Platinum, so I had to go back and add them on. So if you see in the Polnareff part of this video, I actually go back and I add the cheek marks to Jotaro again. Just note, that's why. But yeah, and I titled it, the stand is basically the reflection of the soul. Because essentially that's really what they are. The stand comes from the soul in the person, so I just wanted to make something BA for it. So because I wasted all of, well, no, I didn't waste. So because I used all my seriousness on Jotaro's part of the video, I went more lax with Polnareff. Mainly because my hand was actually really bad hurting after doing all that work on Jotaro. So I went on ahead and just like, I just basically, I just relaxed. My hand was hurting from putting all those highlights in Star Platinum's hair, and I just winded down. I didn't really even pose Silver Chariot at all, and just, so real quick before I get to the ending of the video, I am still learning Japanese at the moment, so if I got the kanji or hiragana wrong next to Polnareff, please let me know, because I still had to Google Translate this word. It's supposed to say stoic beside him, but I could also be wrong, so please do correct me if I actually got my writing wrong. I'm still learning Japanese. Please let me know if I messed it up, because I really honestly will not know unless somebody tells me. Oh gods. Oh, I completely forgot about this. So while I was writing the script for both times, I got spoiled. I got spoiled so freaking hard. My significant other keeps telling me not to look up stuff on the internet for JoJo, but I keep getting recommended it in my YouTube. I get recommended it everywhere. Oh dear. Please do not tell me Dio is actually alive in part 6. Please do not tell me he is. I was ready to be done with him. Please tell me he's not there. Well, everybody, that is it for today. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Sorry it took a while. I still work, and since I can't really make money on YouTube yet at all, because for some reason there is a couple of roadblocks in the way, I still have to pay bills, so it's going to be slow for a bit. Luckily, though, I work for a hotel, and it's now slow season, and I took a semester off of college. So I have some time to pump out some content, but just to be a bit patient with me, it's going to be a bit slow. But if you do enjoy what I make, just drop a like and please hit the subscribe button and tell me how I did, or if I got something wrong in the comments. As long as you're constructive, I am happy to listen to you. I mess up words and facts easily, so please do let me know. I will see you in the next episode, my tiny sheebs, and you guys have a beautiful day and drink plenty of H2O. Bye! Vocal percussion from a whole nother level, coming from my mind. Ooh, we're golden wind. Oh, goodness. I gotta practice Japanese. Fuck it. Nope, we're not doing this. Nope. Can't sing it.